afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me in the room? Okay, good. I'm a Baptist preacher, so usually I don't need a microphone, but I'm going to use this today to make sure everyone can hear us. Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Melvin. I'm a local attorney and a minister here, and it is a privilege and honor to be here to honor someone I know who is going to better our future here in Alexandria. All right. We're here. Woo! I'm pleased to see so many of our city leaders here today, and so what I'm going to do is make sure we let you know who's in the room. I'm so grateful they wrote everyone's name down because I've met and seen so many of you, but I wouldn't be able to name you all. So let me make sure I read down the list of who we've got here today. Brian Porter's here, our Commonwealth attorney. Bill Yule, our former mayor, of course, is here as well. Dana Horn, our sheriff, is here. There we go. Rob Kerpika, our former delegate and council member, is here today as well. Jack. Randy Single's here, our former Commonwealth attorney as well. Randy here. We've got members of the council here and a great group as well. Willie Bailey is here right there in the back. Paul Smedberg is also here. Paul, I saw you. I just can't see where you are, but Paul Smedberg is here. I know I saw Del Pepper. There she is. Nice to see you here. Tim Levain is also here. Tim. And of course, last but not least, John Chapman, who just kicked off his campaign yesterday. Great to have you. It's always great to have a great group of school board members here as well. Karen Grab, who is our fearless leader here tonight. Great to have her. Cindy Anderson. I thought I saw Cindy.
Cindy's here somewhere.
Cindy's here somewhere. Veronica Nolan, where are you here? Woo! Hal also is here. Hal Caldwell. Just saw Hal. Where's Hal? We know we saw him, but he's here. And we also have former Stephanie Coxis, former school board member. Stephanie, I know you're here as well. Great to see you. But last but not least, it's always great to have candidates who are running here also supporting Justin as well. Connect Agarian, please forgive me for pronouncing the last name not as beautiful, but Connect, you're here. Please wave and make sure we say hi to you. Glad to have you here. Deb Hardwick is here running for council as well. And Amy Jackson. Amy, where are you, Amy? Amy Jackson is here. Oh, Mo, I'm so sorry, Mo. Everybody, Mo's also here. Please give it up for Mo as well. Apologies there. Robert Ray is here. I missed Robert, but Robert, wave wherever you are. Robert, great to have you as well. Apologies there, sir. Well, why don't we get started? As we're here and gathered today to celebrate the start of something great for our future here in Alexandria. Now in 2017, it almost felt like we've been watching a really bad movie that we've had to live through. Would you agree? This last year's been pretty rough. I mean, for instance, the Redskins had a really awful season. Again, so unexpected. The current president made us feel like we were all watching the movie Titanic. I think we can all agree there. Which I'm happy to let go, Jack. I'm happy to let go. Our community was rocked with a number of scare tactics that made us feel like we were back in the 1950s. Wouldn't you agree? And in addition to that, safe zones like our neighborhood parks and baseball fields turned into shelters from serious harms. And that was just 2017. But here we are in a new year asking ourselves, what does the future hold and who can we trust to lead and guide our city amid the challenges ahead and the unexpected? Well, here in Alexandria, I'm so glad we have a tight-knit community, which is why I've loved calling this place home for the last 10 years. And when I first arrived here 10 years ago, starting my career as an attorney and as an advisor in the government, I wanted to find ways to serve people in my community that needed my help the most. So I went to the City of Alexandria's website and sent notes to all my elected officials, and guess who was the first to respond? Justin Wilson. Justin took the time to share his insights about the city and also listened to my concerns about affordable housing and making a difference in the lives of those I believe needed my help the most. And I can admit that I can credit my friend and his wonderful wife here, Alex, for the reason why I've had such a wonderful and awesome experience serving in my local community. I have never met two more people more responsive, more inclusive, and more super smart than these two. Would you agree? Now, one thing everyone in this town knows about Justin is that there are very few people who have this level of energy for the job we know is ahead. And I've said this about Justin before, there is no one who's going to outwork Justin Wilson. I should also add that Alex into that because I also know there's no one I know who has a level of energy and dedication to keep up and run with Justin's energy. But we have a lot of challenges ahead in this city, and it will take energy and someone with experience and a proven track record of developing real strategies for those challenges. And not to appear to be proselytizing today, but for our future, it's also going to require someone, as Psalms 40 says, who can run and not grow weary. And if you look at Justin's Twitter, I mean, you get pictures every morning of his run, so you know he can run a lot earlier. Now, as a Baptist preacher, I usually try to make every speech I do at least have 3 points and 1 closing. And most of my remarks today were going to be comprised of all of Justin's amazing accomplishments. Especially the ones he's amassed, of course, to prepare himself for this incredible opportunity to serve as our next mayor. However, after reviewing his extensive record and impressive record of service, I realized I need to make 75 points and ask for your indulgence for 10 closings to be able to get through at least a fourth of the amazing accomplishments of this great leader. But we have great challenges ahead. I mean, we have challenges of how to figure out strategies to accelerate Alexandria's economy. We've got to figure out how we ensure a safe and secure community for all of our citizens. We want to ensure that we can get enough resources to ensure every child has a pathway to success. And more importantly, we want to make sure we're electing people who aren't just vocal advocates for affordable housing, but will commit to be real champions for citizens in our community. So if you've ever pondered about any of these issues or any of these questions, then you should have hope today about one of the really important answers, which is Justin Wilson. And today I'm excited to introduce our next mayor for Alexandria, and someone I know and can ensure will make Alexandria an amazing place to work, to live, and to raise a family. So ladies and gentlemen, it is a signal honor. Would you join me in welcoming our next mayor, Justin Wilson?
For being here. Thank you so much to Michelle for that incredible introduction. I have to tell you, I take a microphone after Michelle with some trepidation here. This is setting me up for failure, but Michelle's a great leader in our community and will be a great leader for a long time to come. So let's give a big hand to Michelle. Thank you. Let's give a hand to the folks here at Live Oak Restaurant. Jeremy Barber, where are you, Jeremy? Wave somewhere. Jeremy's here somewhere. The owner, who I actually went to middle school with. And they have a great, if you have not been here, come back here, have dinner. And they're going to be opening a new restaurant in the old Fireflies location sometime this spring. So show them some love here and show them some love at the new location. So thank you. I want to thank the entire campaign team and Karen Graff, who's led this for the last several months. Thank you so much to all of you for all the work you've done leading up to November 13th, since November 13th, and over the next several months as we work to a victory in June. Thank you all very much for all your help. So, there are a number of you here that are not related to me. I'm going to introduce the ones that are very, very quickly. So I have a lot of family here. So I want to introduce first, I have a lot of cousins. So let's see. I have my cousin, I can't see anyone, so I'm going to have to just guess here. Robin Bortz and Dave Bortz and their son Miles Bortz all the way in the back. My cousin Adele Doborowski, her husband Nick Doborowski, sons James and Lee, somewhere also in the back. My cousin Monica Evans up here. Ursula Tomlinson right here. My aunt and uncle, Cheryl and Fred Blum, brand new Alexandria residents right up here. In Cameron Station. There you go, Dad. There you go. My in-laws are somewhere around here. Diane Crawford and Bob Batt. Where are they? The only reason I exist here on the planet, my first example of public service, my mom, Leslie Turigny, and my stepfather, Ed Turigny, right up here. Also relatively new Alexandria residents. The only reason I'm allowed to leave the house every day, my amazing and incredible wife, Alex Crawford, right here. As I said, my amazing and incredible wife, Alex Crawford. So my kids, my son, Eli, where's Eli? Probably with a camera right here. An amazing photographer now, 13 years old and a 7th grader at GW Middle School. Let's give a big hand to Eli. And last but certainly not least, my amazing daughter, Alina Wilson. Right here. 10 years old and a 4th grader at Mount Vernon. So let's start with Lena. She's not going to like that. So every morning, for really the last 8 years or so, my morning has begun the same way. First with Eli, then with both of them, and now these days with just Lena. We walk out the door about 7:40-ish and head down the hill. And we have about 15 minutes where we can talk. And honestly, most days, and Alex can safely attest to this, that's the time I have with the kids most days. And so I cherish that moment. It's a great opportunity. And sometimes we're rushing. Sometimes I'm holding a saxophone, but we're making it down the hill. So every morning, I'm reminded of why I love serving on the Alexandria City Council and why anyone should serve an elected office. It's making sure that the city that we hand off to the next generation is better than the one that we found. At our very, very first PTA meeting, when Eli was a kindergartner, you go to those PTA meetings when you're a kindergarten parent and all the 4th and 5th grade parents are there and they're looking very intimidating, kind of hide in the back and kind of lay low. And I remember that, the principal at the time, she was talking about the reading scores the school had, and there were some concerns about the reading scores. And, a parent in the back, she raised her hand and she said, principal, what can we do? What can we do about this issue? And so the principal started to give a very, very specific answer. Well, I recommend you read with your kids every night, 30 minutes. These are the types of books you read. Reinforce the reading. And the mom raised her hand again and said, no. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not worried about my kid. What do I do about everyone else's kids? What a moment, what a statement that encapsulates our city about how we approach issues and look to solve them as a community. That's why I love serving on the Alexandria City Council. That's why I love providing the residents of the city with the responsive, accountable, and transparent government that they deserve. I've been proud of the successes that working together we have had together. I've been proud of the work that we've done to build coalitions on the council to invest in our infrastructure, our roads, our sewers, our sidewalks, our school facilities, and our municipal facilities. I've been proud of the work that we've done working together to invest in our kids, expanding early childhood education, improving the quality of after-school services. I've been proud of the work that we've been able to do to ensure a place for the low-income working poor in our community, advancing redevelopment of public housing, ensuring that we expand the availability of affordable housing in our community. I've been proud of the work that we've done to increase the trust that residents have in our government by improving and expanding transparency throughout our government. But in the end, elections are about the future. They're not about the past. They're not about what we've done in the past. They're about what we are going to do as a community together in the future. And so you might ask, why am I running to be the next mayor of Alexandria? Alex asks that regularly. My friend Paul Smedberg in the back there, he and I serve on the city's audit committee. This is not a sexy board assignment. Nobody ever shows up. The press never shows up. The public never shows up. Our job on the audit committee is to supervise the city's annual financial audit. This is exciting stuff. Every year when we sit down with the auditor works to assess what they use the term, they assess the tone at the top. The tone of leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, the tone of leadership, the tone and vision of leadership at the top of city government matters. It matters a great deal. I'm running for mayor because not only do we need to talk about our progressive future for the city, but we need to actually see it to reality. Alexandria is an amazing historic city, and we cherish that history. It's why we're here, and it's why we will be here long into the future. But preservation of the status quo is not a vision. pilot is not a plan for the future. Obstruction and simply saying no never solved the problem in our community. It cannot be enough for us to just throw up our hands and express concern about the level of poverty that afflicts far too many kids in our community. We know how we can work together and ensure that every child has an opportunity to achieve an early childhood education and have high quality of after-school services and address the challenge of growing enrollment in our schools. It is not enough for us to simply express concern at decades of underinvestment in our infrastructure. We have to advance plans that actually address the problem and make sure that we not only invest in our infrastructure, but invest in our infrastructure in a way that attracts private investment. If we do it right, we will drive economic growth in our community. It is not only enough to convey and concern about the loss of thousands of market rate affordable housing units over the last several years. Instead, we have to use a full-throated approach of using all of our zoning authority, all of our land use authority to make sure that we create affordable housing in this community and make sure that Alexandria is a place for all.
That's right.
It is not enough to simply express concern about our environment and the challenges of climate change. We in Alexandria can lead on this issue. We can ensure that we up the ante on our green building standards. We can address our clean water. We can expand mass transit and bring a metro to Potomac Yard and bring the West End Transit Way and ensure that we expand our dash bus system. We can be a part of that solution. But in the end, we have to recognize the connection between all the needs in our community and our ability to pay for them. We simply cannot address the needs of our community on 1% revenue growth. It's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. And so it is incumbent upon us on this next council to make sure that we retool our economy to exist and thrive in an environment where we do not rely on federal spending growing at a very significant rate every single year. That is our most sacred mission for this next city council. And we have to be successful in it. We have to make sure that not only are we waiting until landowners are coming to us, but we're proactively reaching out to vacant property owners and ensuring that we transition those properties to more productive use. We work on the West End where we have residential properties that are coming up on the end of their lives and work with them to help manage proactively that transition. That's going to help the city's economy in the future. This is my vision for the future of the city. A city where our kids have every opportunity to success, our economy is thriving, and our infrastructure is invested and well taken care of. You know, just about 80 years ago, next year, about 1.5 miles from here, 5 men walked into a library. It was a brand new library that had just opened. And they asked for a library card. And they were told no. And they sat down and they grabbed a book. And they read for a little while. Until they were removed from the library. The whole activity was coordinated by an attorney a couple blocks away who today has an elementary school in our West End named after him. They didn't put together a committee. They didn't have a community charrette. They didn't count their emails to decide if it was a problem that we needed to solve. They saw a problem in the community, and they went about finding a solution to it. And in doing so, they helped spark a movement. So just like that mother at the PTA meeting who saw a problem in her neighborhood and wanted to find a solution, they got together and they found a solution. Alexandria is a small city that does big things. And that's why I'm running to be Alexandria's next mayor. It's going going to be a long time between now and June. This is a long campaign. I like running marathons, and so I'm ready for it. But I'm going to need all of your help. So if you have an opportunity to knock on a door, to talk to your friends, to host a coffee, to give us money, to give us more money, please do so. Thank you so much for being here today. Let's go win a great victory in June and make sure Alexandria is a better place to live, work, and raise a family.
Midnight about a city in. All right. Who cares about education, housing, and our economy, and even tree canopy? Who? Right. That is right. Who has a vision for the future of Alexandria? Who can we trust to carry that vision forward? That's right. Do you know, everybody, how many minutes a day he spends answering your emails, tweeting something out about the city, reading something interesting about an audit like you just described? How many minutes do you think that is? What do you think? 24? Miss Pepper thinks 24. I think 124 minutes a day. I think sometimes he is out there making sure that you know you're being served. So I'm asking you guys to spend a minute. I need you to spend a minute filling out this form. I need you to spend a minute planting a sign in your yard for him. I need you to spend a minute writing a check or swiping your card over here at the square. He needs your help, guys. He spends 3 years of his service every time he runs, making sure that you know that he cares about this city. And we ask you during this time to make sure that you show it and that you show your neighbors. So please take a minute and really support our local politics. It matters. If we grow good politicians here, then they will start to move up the pipeline, and we need that, folks. We need it. So take a minute and